So what I wanted to teach my daughter were some things, how to be caring, how to be confident, how to be resilient. So I think everyone knows what is caring. So when you understand somebody, when you try to help somebody, isn't it? Caring. It's good to be like that. Then confident. Does anyone know what is confident? Yes.
It means I forgot.
Kind of happy. Yes.
Believe in yourself.
Believing in yourself.
Yeah,
That's a very good one. Yes, when you're happy with who you are and you believe in yourself. That's good. And the last one is resilient. It's a bit bigger word, and I would say when you have some difficulty or challenge, but you stay positive. Do you think that's important in life?
Yeah.
It is. There's always something that kind of makes us sad, but then it's important to be resilient, to stay positive, happy. So I'm going to read today 3 stories, and I'll try to connect it with each of these 3. So resilient, confident, and caring. So 1 story for each of those, okay? And just before we start, so you saw already you have some bookmarks on the table. So if you have more here, you can give one to everyone. So bookmarks, whenever you're reading any book at home, when you need to mark it where you left off, it's for everyone here. If anyone didn't get, you can ask for more, okay? Hello. How are you? And again, just before we start, I'll give a few books here to those whose parents ordered. So if you hear your name, you can come over to pick up your copy so you can look at the book while I'm reading as well, okay? Perfect. I might not pronounce them very well.
That's okay.
Eva O'Connor in Junior Infants.
Eva.
Or
Alva. Yeah, Alva, your mom ordered one of the books. You can have a look now.
Sorry.
That's okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. You.
Nathan Daly.
I'm over here.
Amazing. Here we go.
Collect your books. Your mom ordered one as well.
And if you want to order now, if anyone wants to order for later, you can ask your parents. When you bring this bookmark at home, they can find how to order. Okay. We have here. Is it Fran Sheehan?
Yeah, Fran. Do you want to come up and take your book, Fran?
Then we have Elaine Brown.
Quillen. Yeah, Quillen. Your mom ordered one as well.
Fran.
Yeah, and Quillen.
So you can have a look at the book.
And Fia.
Fia O'Mahony.
Okay, Fia. There you go. Alright, and there's still time to order them. If you want to do that at home this evening, you can do that. Okay, yes, Emma?
What if you don't have a book?
If you don't have a book, there's loads, we're going to give them out at the end. Okay, there's loads there.
Sean gave some out.
Oh yeah, guys, we don't need to yet because we don't want to be playing with it now. Just leave them now a minute. Okay?
Yeah, come later for it, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm going to read the first story.
You okay, Tom?
It's called Rosie the Flamingo's Flight Challenge. Rosie the Flamingo's Flight Challenge. So Rosie loved flying, but she had one accident. So doctor told her she won't be able to fly anymore. So we'll read this story and see how Rosie overcame this challenge. And again, before I start, actually this is I didn't tell you one more thing. So I wrote this book, but I'm actually also kind of a YouTuber. Does everyone know YouTube? So I put these stories every Friday. And today is Friday. So I put one story, I'm reading a story, and I put them up on YouTube. So this is the story I'm posting today in the evening. You can check it out later. So on YouTube as well. I'm called Modern Fables for Children. Now I'm going to do something special because I'm posting this story today. And sometimes when I'm posting these videos, whenever there's a character speaking inside the story, I can ask, for example, somebody to borrow their voice. So if you listen to this story today, I have 4 characters. It's Rosie the flamingo, then her best friend Lily. I have Dr. Henry the heron, and also a small duckling. So listen to the story and what each character is saying. And if you want to borrow your voice, to have it in the my video in YouTube, you can ask your parent to contact me on this form. So you would have to do it today if you want your voice to be on a video in YouTube. That's also an option. It's a very special opportunity because we'll post this story today. Okay? So let's start. The story is called Rosie the Flamingo's Flight Challenge, a story about acceptance and adaptation. So adaptation is when you have learned to accept and live differently, maybe because of some challenge. So once upon a time, in a beautiful sunlit lagoon, there lived a graceful flamingo named Rosie. Rosie had bright pink feathers, long slender legs, and a beak that curved just right. She loved to spend her days playing with her friends and flying high above the sparkling blue water. Every morning, Rosie and her friends would gather by the water's edge. They'd splash, play games, and take to the skies in joyful flocks. Flying was Rosie's favorite thing to do. She loved feeling the wind beneath her wings and seeing the world from above. One sunny day, Rosie was peacefully flying through the sky when she heard a sudden loud noise coming from behind. Before she knew it, a huge airplane swished beside her, and the most powerful gust of wind she had ever experienced threw her off balance. Rosie tried to steady herself, but it was too strong. She tumbled and twirled helplessly until she painfully crashed into a sharp rock that jutted from the lagoon's shore. With a loud squawk, Rosie dropped onto the ground. She felt like everything in her body was hurting. Her heart thumped like a drum as she tried to stand, but a sharp pain shot through her wing. It was badly injured. Her friends rushed to her side. "Rosie, are you okay?" asked her best friend Lily the flamingo. Rosie tried to stand but felt that terrible pain in her wing again. "I think my wing is hurt," she said, tears filling her eyes. Lily and the other flamingos helped Rosie to the lagoon's edge where Dr. Henry the heron awaited. Dr. Henry was the wisest bird in the lagoon, and he knew just how to help injured animals. Dr. Henry gently examined Rosie's wing. He looked very concerned as he spoke. "There's a tear in your wing, Rosie. It's quite serious. I'm afraid you won't be able to fly anymore." Rosie's heart sank. "Never? But I love to fly." Flying wasn't just fun. It was how she explored their world, how she reached the tastiest patches of algae and joined her friends in their sky races. Without it, what would she do? "I'm sorry, Rosie," said Dr. Henry, "but you'll still be able to do many other wonderful things. You'll see." Rosie was heartbroken. The days that followed were the hardest she had ever known. She refused to leave her nest and had no appetite at all. She watched as her friends flew high above, playing games and having fun. She felt left out and lonely. "Why did this have to happen to me?" Rosie constantly thought to herself. One day, Lily came beside her. I know it's hard, Rosie, but we're still here for you. There are lots of things you can still do. Rosie sighed. Yeah, but it's just not the same. Over the next few weeks, Rosie struggled to adapt to her new life. She learned to walk more steadily and discovered that she could swim very well. But still, she missed flying terribly. One day, as Rosie was practicing her swimming, she heard a little voice crying out. She turned to see a small duckling stuck in a tangle of reeds. Rosie hurried over and gently used her beak to free the duckling. Thank you, quacked the duckling, whose name was Ducky. I was so scared. Rosie smiled. You're welcome, Ducky. Be more careful next time. As Rosie watched Ducky waddle away, she felt a warm glow inside. Helping him made her feel useful and happy. Maybe there were other ways she could help in the lagoon. From then on, Rosie began to look for ways to assist others. She helped guide young flamingos in their first swimming lessons and used her long beak to reach food for smaller birds. She became the best fish catcher in her flock. She even started telling stories to the young birds, sharing her adventures and teaching them about the lagoon's many wonders. One evening, as the sunset painted the sky in shades of pink and orange, Rosie gathered with her friends by the water's edge. They talked and laughed, and Rosie realized how much she still loved being with them. Lily nudged her and said, Rosie, you've been amazing. You've helped so many of us lately, and we all love your stories. Rosie blushed. Thank you, Lily. I still miss flying, but I did find a few new things that make me happy. As the time went on, Rosie felt more content. She still had moments of sadness, but she learned to find joy in other activities. She adapted to her new life and discovered that there were many ways to be happy even if things didn't go as planned. Rosie had learned that accepting a change could be hard, but it could also lead to new feelings and opportunities. And she found that with the love and support of her friends, she could overcome anything. One day, as Rosie and her friends watched the sunset together, she smiled and said, You know, I may not be able to fly anymore, but I found new ways to soar. And in her heart, Rosie felt as free as she ever had, knowing she had found her place in the world once again. The end. Did you like that?
Yeah.
Aww. So we have the moral at the end, which says, even when things don't go as planned, accepting a change and adapting to a new situation can lead to happiness and fulfillment. Okay? Have questions? Yes?
So I have a question.
Yes.
I think I have a good book at home and it's about facts.
All
about
Facts.
different facts.
Ah, that sounds interesting. You like it?
Yeah.
I'd like to read that. So I have here 3 questions for you, okay? So you can raise your hand if you want to answer, okay? The first question, how do you think Rosie felt when she found out she couldn't fly anymore? Have you ever felt sad when something didn't go as planned? Did you have trouble accepting it? Okay. Yes.
I think she felt sad.
Yes. That's very true. Yes. And does anyone want to share? Did it ever happen to them when they had a problem? Yes.
So once I jumped off a slide and I and I broke my arm and I broke it. And Rosie, the Sam, I think.
Yeah.
I think so too.
So then you couldn't use your hand for a while? Your arm?
Yeah, but usually, Jack was so funny with the thing my arm used to go in because he used to put his leg into it.
Yes.
Before I fell off my bed and I broke my arm and I have to wear my sling for a long, long, long time.
Oh gosh. So yeah, that is a big challenge. Then you can't use your arm. You had to learn how to be happy even though you can't use your arm. Was it a challenge? Yeah, it was a bit hard. But you stayed happy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's good. We'll have more questions, okay? Second question. What new things did Rosie discover she could do to help her friends? And the second part of the question is, imagine you faced a big challenge like not being able to walk or see or hear. How would you behave and what would you do differently? Yes?
When I broke my arm.
Yes. And what if you faced a big challenge, like even not being able to walk? How do you think you would behave, or what would you do if you can't walk or see or hear completely? Do you think that would be a challenge as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a bit hard. And what new things did Rosie discover she could do to help her friends? She tried to help them.
She untangled the dock.
Yes, and that made her feel happy. And she helped young flamingos in the swimming lessons. Started teaching a bit. Yes.
And she read books to other people.
Yes, that's right. So the last question: how did Rosie's friends help her feel better? And has any of your friends gone through a tough time, for example, an injury? And what are some things you can do to support somebody who is going through a tough time like Rosie? So imagine, or if it happened that your friend got hurt, so what can you do to help them? Do you know? Yes?
My friend Paula, she broke her arm and I used to help her with stuff sometimes.
Very good. You're a good girl. Well done. Oh, was it you? Of course. And that means a lot to somebody when you help. Amazing. So yeah, that's it for this story. I hope you liked it. We'll go off to the next one. It's called Hugo the Horse. Do you like horses?
Yeah.
I love horses.
Well, I'm not scared of horses.
So the next story is on the page 158, if anyone has a book. 158.
I already know what my name is.
So this is Hugo the horse. This one will be about caring and how to stay kind. Okay? You'll hear the story, I think you'll like it. It's a story about sacrifice and humility, which are a bit big words, but I hope by the end of the story you will understand those words so you learn something new. Okay? So, ready? Once upon a time, in a charming little village surrounded by green fields and tall trees, lived a young horse named Hugo. Hugo had a shiny brown coat and bright, curious eyes. He lived modestly in a rustic home with his loving parents, and his absolute favorite thing in the world was his mom's homemade apple pie. It was so delicious that just the smell of it baking in the oven made Hugo's mouth water. Snuggled beneath his mane, tucked away from sight, was his other favorite thing, a small, worn blue ribbon. He received it as a foal, winning a playful race against his siblings. It reminded him of a simple joy, the love of running, and the feeling of pushing himself. Hugo had a big dream. He yearned to be the fastest horse in the entire world, just like Hank the champion. Hank was a famous black horse known for his incredible speed and grace. Hank's poster was hanging in Hugo's stable, and each time Hugo saw it, he felt a spark of inspiration in his heart. He wanted to be just like Hank one day. Hugo's parents noticed their son's unwavering passion. So, when Hugo turned 3, they enrolled him in Mrs. Naysay's racing school. The field there was vast, lined with practice hurdles and starting gates. He loved every moment of it, from the early morning runs to the challenging obstacle courses. Hugo practiced racing with all his might every day, often from dawn until dusk. His muscles burning with effort, his hooves pounding the earth. Hugo always gave his best. Sure, there were days when he felt tired and his legs ached, but he remembered his dream and pushed through the tough times. Hugo was also very disciplined. He never missed a single training session. And instead of sweets and chocolate, he stuck to healthy oat bran and fresh carrots. He didn't mind the sacrifice. His eyes were fixed on the prize. He trained hard, day after day, pushing himself further and further. After some time, his hard work paid off. Hugo became the fastest horse at Mrs. Naysay's school. His friends would often call him to relax, watch a movie, or play fun games with them. But Hugo always politely declined. He was focused on his goal and knew that to become the best, he needed to practice and improve his skills constantly. One crisp Monday morning, as they were all gathered in the field, his friends laughed and jumped with excitement as they were telling fun stories from the weekend trip to the waterfall on the other side of the mountain. Hugo, who declined the invitation as usual, wished he could join the conversation, so he felt a pang of loneliness and regret for missing out on the fun experiences with his friends. But again, Hugo reminded himself that the path to the top required exceptionally hard work and sacrifice. One day, as Hugo was running laps around the track, he received an exciting letter. He had been invited to join the prestigious horse racing academy. It was a step closer to his dream. Hugo's heart raced with joy and excitement. However, the new opportunity had a bittersweet taste, as this meant he had to leave his loving family and friends in the village to go to a big, bustling city where he didn't know anyone else. Life at the academy was different. Here, every horse was a shining star, each with their own dreams of winning championships. Hugo had to work even harder, surrounded by exceptional talent. He remained disciplined, never giving up, always striving to improve. Before long, Hugo stood out as the best. at the academy. Being on top sometimes felt lonely. He still missed his family and friends back in the village. A couple of years flew by, and Hugo was ready to compete as a professional racing horse. He participated in many competitions and always gave his best. His hard work and determination paid off, and soon he was known as the fastest runner and the most famous racing horse in the world. He even won a race against Hank. He became a true superstar. Hugo's new life came with many privileges. He visited prestigious places with fancy food and met high-class horses. Some of those professional horses around him had overly expensive equipment like golden saddles and indulged in special beauty treatments. Some were arrogant and self-centered, often rude to others around them. But Hugo stayed true to his roots. He didn't need much, and he preferred to be kind and share with others. Even with all the fame, Hugo never forgot his humble beginnings. He continued to visit his family and friends back in the village whenever he could. He cherished these visits and always looked forward to his mom's gooey apple pie. The joy of being with his loved ones and the taste of homemade pie were still very precious to him. Despite being a superstar, Hugo loved teaching young horses. He enjoyed sharing his knowledge and experience with them. He'd often tell them stories of his journey and sacrifices he made, and how important it was to stay humble and kind, no matter how successful one became. He helped everyone whenever he could and never felt too important to lend a hand. One day, a small horse named Leo approached Hugo. Leo had big dreams too, but was still small and felt unsure if he could ever achieve them. Hugo smiled warmly and said, "It all starts with a dream, Leo. But it's not easy. Being the best requires a lot of hard work, dedication, and sacrifice. Sometimes you'll feel like you're too tired and want to stay in a cozy bed on a cold winter morning. But those are the exact moments that make a difference between the best and the average racing horses. You just have to keep practicing and every day striving to be better than yesterday. With the right attitude, you can achieve anything." And although Hugo's journey was filled with ups and downs, everybody knew that his constant sacrifice and motivation led him to become the best racing horse in the world. He never let success get into his head and always remembered where he came from. Hugo knew that true greatness wasn't just about winning races, but also about being kind, humble, and helpful. The end. Did you like that?
Yeah.
Aww. So the moral of the story is being the best at something always requires hard work and dedication. But true greatness comes from staying humble and kind, no matter how successful you become. Okay? So we have 3 questions here as well, if you want to say. The first question, do you think Hugo made the right choice by giving up games, trips, and sweets to practice racing? Why or why not? And how do you think he felt when making those choices? Yes?
I think he feels like
Yeah, that's true, because he didn't mind. He knew why he was doing it.
and maybe like a little bit serious.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I think. I have no idea, maybe.
That's true, yeah. So, we come to the point where we can say what is sacrifice. And in this story tries to explain that sacrifice is when you kind of want something, but you decide not to get it because there's something else more important than that you want. Do you get me? So Hugo really wanted to be the best racing horse in the world. And he a little bit wanted sweets and chocolate and to join his friends all the time. But he decided to sacrifice not to take sweets and chocolate because he had another dream that he pursued. Okay? Sometimes we have to do that, right? Can anyone give an example of sacrifice, like a general example or something in their life? Maybe when you wanted something but decided not to have it because you have something else? Yeah. Let's see. We'll get to that later. So, besides being the fastest horse, what other qualities did Hugo have, and what do you like about his behavior? How did he behave, Hugo? Yes?
He was nice and he was kind.
Yes. Although he was a superstar, he stayed kind. Yes?
He was good.
Yes, he was. He visited his family still back in the village, and he never felt too important to help somebody, right? So I really like that quality, that part of his personality. So, and I'll use this question as well to then say what does it mean when somebody is humble? Humble means when somebody doesn't need much and he's thankful for they're thankful for what they have. Okay, still kind, not thinking I'm the best. So if somebody always thinks I'm the best, that's the opposite of humble. Okay, so humble is when you say, I still have a lot to learn. Do you think you have a lot to learn?
Yeah.
So that is being humble as well. Good, so that was our second story. Who wants to hear the third one?
Me.
Oh, you're very good. Now you might like this. So this is our last story. Maybe you like it as well because it's about the TV. Okay? Yeah, it's Carlos the cheetah and the outdoor magic. A story about the TV. Are you interested?
Yeah.
So actually Carlos was watching TV a bit too much.
Okay, is that one on?
So that's the page 31. 31.
Okay, boys and girls, last story, so listen carefully.
I love cheetahs.
Oh, me too, yeah. They're the fastest animals.
They just be catches.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, listening ears again. Are we ready for the last story? Yes.
So,
Joe?
once upon a time, a young cheetah cub named Carlos lived in the golden savannas of Africa. Carlos was no ordinary cheetah cub. He was the fastest runner among his siblings. But Carlos had one problem. He recently discovered the TV and had been watching it too much ever since. There were cartoons about brave lions, documentaries about wise old elephants, and even adventure movies with daring meerkats. Carlos would sit in front of his TV for hours, his big bright eyes glued to the screen. Carlos's favorite show was called Super Cheetah Adventures, where a superhero cheetah would race through the savannah, solving problems and saving the day. Carlos wanted to be just like Super Cheetah. But instead of running outside and practicing, he spent more and more time inside watching TV. One sunny morning, Carlos's mother, Mama Cheetah, called him. "Carlos, it's time for your morning run," she said. "You need to practice your speed." Without taking his eyes off the screen, Carlos replied, "I don't want to go out, Mama. Super Cheetah is about to save the day." Mama Cheetah sighed. She knew how much Carlos loved his show, but she was worried. Carlos was spending too much time in front of the TV and not enough time running and playing like the other cubs. Days went by and Carlos continued watching TV instead of playing outside. He started to feel tired all the time, even though he wasn't doing much. His legs felt heavy, and he found keeping up with his siblings more challenging during their runs. One afternoon, his sister Cora came to Carlos while he was watching TV. "Carlos, come outside and play," she called. "I found a new path through the tall grass. We could discover something amazing." Carlos shook his head. "Maybe later, Cora. I'm watching Super Cheetah right now." Cora frowned. "But Carlos, you've been watching TV all day. Don't you want to feel the wind in your fur and warm sun on your back?" Carlos thought about it for a moment. He did love the feeling of running through the savannah, but the TV was so entertaining. "Maybe later," he said again. Cora sighed and left. She was worried about her brother, so she decided to talk to Mama about it. Later that evening, Mama Cheetah gently approached Carlos. "Carlos, my dear, I think it's time we talked about something important," she began. "Watching TV can be fun, but too much of it isn't good for you. It's making you feel tired and sluggish. You need to go outside, run, and play with your friends and siblings." "But Mom, I love watching Super Cheetah. I want to be just like him," Carlos protested. Mama Cheetah smiled. "I know you do, but remember, Super Cheetah is fast and strong because he practices daily. He doesn't just sit around watching TV. If you want to be like Super Cheetah, you need to be active too." Carlos thought about what Mama said, and deep down, he knew she was right. He loved running and playing outside, but couldn't help but sit and watch TV all day. It was hard to stop. The next day, Carlos decided to join his siblings outside. At first it was hard and his legs felt heavy, but he quickly started to feel stronger and enjoy it. As the days passed, Carlos spent less time in front of the TV and more time outside. He ran through the grass, climbed trees, and played with his friends. He discovered new paths, chased butterflies, and even raced to the wind. Carlos felt happier and more energetic than he had in a long time. As he continued to play outside, he realized that his adventures were even more exciting than the ones on the TV. He learned that while it was okay to watch TV sometimes, it was important not to let it take over his life. One evening, after a long day of running and playing, Carlos curled up in his cozy den. He turned on the TV for a while, But after just one episode of Super Cheetah Adventures, he turned it off. Instead of watching more TV, he decided to rest and think about all the fun he'd had that day. From that day on, Carlos found balance. He still watched TV sometimes, but he spent most of his time outside, exploring the Great Savannah and having real-life adventures. And you know what? Carlos became the fastest, strongest, and the happiest cheetah cub in the savannah, just like Super Cheetah. The end. Did you like that one?
Yeah.
The moral of the story, the way to learn and grow is to be active and aware of your thoughts. Watching too much TV can make you feel alone and miss out the real experiences in life. Do you ever feel as well that it's hard to stop watching TV?
Yeah.
It's actually kind of easy for me, but it's hard and easy at the same time.
It is, yeah, definitely. So we have the first question here. What did you want to say?
Sometimes I watch zombies, not too much, because every time I'm going to bed, I don't watch movies every day going to bed. I read a book sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's better to read a book. As we can see from this story, too much TV is not good. So first question here, what is your favorite TV show? And do you ever feel like you can't stop watching it? So, does anyone, what's it? Yes?
It's called Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Oh, really?
I watched that Alvin and Theodore.
Oh,
Brittany and oh, yeah.
That's a popular one.
I know.
Okay, guys.
But
What's the next one? Nathan?
I really like watching Ben and Cal. It's a YouTube program, but it's very good. They keep making combat cars with like you believe me, but swords, lightsabers, and even fireballs.
I have here hundreds and hundreds of that.
Wow, very good. What else?
Very good, yes?
My favorite movie is definitely something. It's not scary, but
What's
it
it
has
called, Hannah?
zombies and cheerleaders.
Very good.
Very nice.
What did you want to say?
Grizzly and the Lemmings.
What is it?
Grizzly and the Lemmings.
That's your favorite TV show?
Grizzly and the Lemmings?
Aw.
Oh, I
Very good. Okay, boys and girls. Listening.
It's called Garfield.
What's it called? Garfield? Flash?
Oh, nice. Yes.
Nice one. Listen.
Yes.
Listen to John.
I think I nearly forgot. It's called Godzilla.
Godzilla. Oh, wow.
Yeah, they all sound very fun. And yeah, sometimes when we're having so much fun watching, it's hard to stop. But we have to remember, too much is not good. And like Carlos, maybe turn it off after one episode or a few minutes, right? Yeah. Okay. So
Listen again.
I like this question. So, second question. What could be the bad sides of watching too much TV? And why do you think parents don't let children watch the TV sometimes? Why do you think parents don't? Who didn't speak? Yes?
Because it's bad for your eyes.
Yeah, bad for eyes. That's true. Yes.
Nathan,
Make your
wait your turn.
voice squeal.
I square. Yes. Yes.
They say a wanted to wait.
They say what?
A wanted
It's wrong in your brain.
Yeah, that's true. So, that could be the bad sides, and maybe that's the reason why parents sometimes say no more TV. Do you understand why parents say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Now the last question is, imagine you have a magic remote control that could make your favorite TV show come to life. Would you choose that or a whole day of extra fun activity with your family, such as a bouncy castle or water park? So would you pick your cartoon adventure? Would you pick your cartoon adventure with your favorite TV character or a fun activity with your family? What would you choose? Yes. Oh, you're very good. I would also choose that. Yes. Yeah, you're making very good choices. You? Ah, you're very good. Yes. I think fun activities, and especially with your families, are even better than the TV and all of that. So I totally agree. Yes.
I already have a bouncy castle.
Amazing, and that's so much more fun. So much more fun.
There's a communion tomorrow for some of the siblings.
Yeah,
So they have bouncy castles already. Yeah.
Yes.
I suppose I mean me.
Yes.
I think mine will, so can we make it even so the outside activities could be number 2 and the TV and I think TV like what was it again?
Making your TV program come to life.
Yes.
Number 1.
Good. Well,
And
that's
mine
also
is
fine.
the number 1, which is making the TV come to life.
Yes.
Because I want a real Godzilla as
That's
my
also
pet.
good. Yeah.
Because I want a real Godzilla for my pet.
It's whatever you like. There's no right or wrong.
Lana, I think Alva has her hand up for a while. Alva, did you want to say
Yes.
something?
Yeah. Do we get to bring the books home?
Yeah, your mom bought
Yes.
that book for you, Alva, yes.
Yes. So that's it. Those were my 3 stories, and we have just a bit of time if you have any question for me.
Anybody have a nice question that they would like to ask Lana?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, what's your question?
The question is about like the TV and going outside. I was like, she's like asked her one children to have the time outside, play around a little bit, and then go back inside.
Okay, well remember that we're asking a question, okay? So we moved on from that, so
Very good.
ask a question.
Yes.
How do you make the pictures in the book?
Great question, Grace.
Great question. Oh yeah, I'm here. So I used the computer. Okay, there was one, let's call it a website or program. So I typed in what I wanted to create. So for example, we're on this picture and I said, I want to create a flamingo flying. I wanted to have bright, sparkly big eyes and look happy. And then the program just created this. And I took the picture and I put it in the book on the computer. So that's a very good question. Yeah? Yes?
How do you write the words so neatly?
Oh, I typed it in the computer as well.
Yeah.
Yes. So that was quite easy. It's better than handwriting. It wouldn't be so neat. So I had some help. So somebody helped me put it so nicely. Yes. Yes.
So my one is actually that movie isn't called Godzilla. It's called Godzilla Kong the Empire.
I know that.
Okay, remember we're
Very
asking
good.
questions now.
Yes.
How long did it take you to make the book?
Good question.
A couple of months.
Oh my god.
Yeah, well,
It's a nice big book. So.
maybe you think it's a lot or little. It took patience. Yeah, so it was day after day of writing a little bit. Few months. Yes, you haven't said the yes.
When did you write it? When did you do it?
Well, all was on paper about 1 year ago, but then I published it about 6 months ago. So it took a few months. Did you want to say something?
Anna?
How did you make the cover of the book?
Cover of the book,
Because
yeah.
it looks very plasticky.
Well, that's the way it was printed, yes. So when you create it in the computer, and one girl helped me put these words and picture together, and when it was on the computer, then I just send it to one company, and they print the book. So they use this kind of, it's not plastic, it's a bit like paper. It's a shiny paper. So they print it. They have a big machine and they print it.
Oh, like the plastic machines where you put paper in and then you like put plastic over it?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe they
I think they laminated it.
laminated. I think that's the word. Very good.
Good.
Yes.
How did you color in the pictures so easily? Printing.
Well, they came. I didn't color them.
I get the photo.
They were already like that, created. So it's a very interesting program. That's why you need to know how to describe what you want. You type it in, what you want to see, and you get a nice picture. So it's very interesting.
I believe that's all the time for questions, Lana, because
It
there's
is,
another
yes.
class waiting,
That's the
isn't
last
there?
one. So
Unfortunately.
thank you very much. You were all very good, and thank you for
Sorry,
questions.
Wait, please. Wait.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks everybody. You were listening really well there. That was really good listening from everybody. Will we give Miss Lana a big round of applause? And we'll make sure that everybody has a bookmark from Miss Simcox's class before you leave. Okay? Alright.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. What do you say? Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Do you want to?
I have these seniors and the other half of my class are over the second class. So I'm bringing it back to my room to show you.
And
And
I'll
I'm
show
going
yeah.
there, yeah?
There's actually a door this way that you
Yeah, but I go, yeah.
Yeah.
I said,
You did not. Okay. Mark, Miss Simcox.